Ryan Patrick McLaughlin, A Meatless Dominion, Genesis 1 and the Ideal of Vegetarianism, in Biblical Theology Bulletin, Volume 37, Issue 3, 2017. A brief biography for the author and a link to the full text of the paper is provided in the description. McLaughlin admits that there is no clear and singular biblical imposition about vegetarianism, but he believes that there is an argument to be made for an animal-friendly hermeneutic, using keys similar to those that have unlocked liberation in feminist theologies. Focusing on the priestly account of creation in Genesis 1, McLaughlin explicates 3 points: the meaning of Imago Dei in Genesis 1, 26-28, the meaning of dominion in the post-Diluvian creation order of Genesis 9, 1-3 as it contrasts with Genesis 1. First, on the Imago Dei in Genesis 1, 26-28, McLaughlin begins with the classic question: what does it mean to bear the image of God? There are two main interpretations, the substantive and the functional. A substantive interpretation supposes that Imago Dei is about how humans are like God and unlike animals. Propositions for human-God similarities include reason and free will. A functional interpretation supposes that Imago Dei concerns the fulfillment of a role on earth. The object created is linked to this purpose for its existence. For example, in the Genesis account, light was created on the first day in order to separate day from night. McLaughlin accepts a functional interpretation and, acknowledging that other cultures of the ancient Near East had language of image of God to describe an individual through whom a God mediated to accomplish their work, accepts the Imago Dei concept of Genesis 1 as a manifestation of that idea. The difference was that, in the Genesis account, Imago Dei was expanded to encompass all of humanity, not just one person. In figuring what it meant to fulfill the Imago Dei role, McLaughlin considers who the God is after whom humans are cast. To understand this God, McLaughlin places the Genesis account in the context of the other ancient Near East origin stories. There are considerable similarities between these ancient Near East stories. More important are the places at which they differ. Taking the Babylonian creation story as the leading example, the Genesis account differs in 3 significant ways. First, humans are co-participants instead of slaves. Second, there is no struggle against chaos to create the world, and creation is thus nonviolent. Third, creation involves enablement, not conquering, of the created. For McLaughlin, these differences between divine creation in the Genesis account and the Babylonian account point to an intention to model nonviolent dominion in the biblical God. Second, on the meaning of dominion, McLaughlin focuses on the Hebrew word radah, the word often translated as dominion in Genesis 1:28. McLaughlin argues that Genesis 1:29-30, often ignored or sidestepped by theologians, defines the radah of Genesis 1:28 as nonviolent. While radah is used in other Old Testament passages that deal with warfare or slavery, McLaughlin notes that the word in these contexts is often modified by a negative adjective. Radah itself is neutral, not violent, and Genesis 1:29 serves to exegete it as advocating peaceful and other-enabling rule. This understanding of radah is supported by the peaceful and other-enabling creation account of Genesis that contrasted the violent and other-conquering creation accounts of other ancient Near East cultures, as described before. McLaughlin writes that dominion, then, has meaning beyond despotism or stewardship. The dominion of Genesis 1 says that humanity's rule is to lead to peace. Third, on the post-Diluvian creation order of Genesis 9, 1-3, McLaughlin acknowledges the similarities with Genesis 1, including a beginning with water, a bringing forth of land, a blessing on humans, and a command to fill the earth, before pivoting to the differences. Striking among them are 1. God's grant for humans to consume non-human animals, 2. The absence of the word radah, and 3. The presence of the words morah and hat. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. I have given you all things, even as the green herbs, God tells Noah, implying that meat had not been on the menu before. Edenic coexistence of humans and non-human animals is reversed. Moreover, Genesis 9 reaffirms God's blessing on humans and the mandate to fill the earth. but dominion, Radah, is not affirmed. In place of Radah are Mora and Hat, which mean fear and dread. Says Genesis 9:2, "And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be on every beast of the earth, and every bird of the air, on all that move on the earth and all the fish of the sea." Unlike Radah, Mora and Hat have consistently negative connotations. There is a sinister shift in the creation order after the flood. In addition to introducing violence to the relationship between humans and the other creatures, McLaughlin posits that the substitution of Radah with Mora and Hat implies that humans are no longer worthy of dominion, and that dominion is no longer possible. McLaughlin concludes, taking these 3 points on Imago Dei, dominion, and the post-Diluvian order together, that vegetarianism is the creation ideal, and meat-eating, admitted in Genesis 9, is a divine concession for a violent world. This ideal is most prominently exemplified in Isaiah 11:1-9, about the wolf flying with the lamb and the lion eating straw. McLaughlin sees in these images both primordial peace and future hope for meatless dominion.